Yo, 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 what's going on? I'm OGT,
And I'm Jordan.
and we are the Billionaire
Millionaire Book
Book Club.
Club. Hey.
And we got a book for y'all today.
Apparently, guys, I chose this book. I don't remember choosing it, but today we're doing Stillness Speaks by Eckhart Tolle. We read another one of his books,
The
The Power
power
of
of
Now.
now.
That was actually a good one. You'll see the rating that I have for this book, but Power of Now, a good book. But let's just get into it. So the first topic I kind of want to talk about because it's kind of relating to like my mindset changes, how I'm trying to change my mindset now, and that has to do with like desire and fear. And in the book, he kind of explains how desire is you wanting something that you don't already have, and we need to kind of figure out a way to control that because we shouldn't really want something that we don't already have, especially if we're already expecting it to come. So if you're big into like manifesting or stuff like that, like if it's already coming to you, like if you already have that thought out there, if you're already doing the actions, it's already coming to you. So why are you trying to chase something that's already coming to you? So with me, I'm trying really hard to focus on disciplining my desires. And I feel like that's just going to make me stronger in like every single area of my life. So, for example, like if I'm craving a different type of food, I'll just allow the feeling of desire to be within me, but then I try not to act upon it. And that's just like giving strength to my discipline. So, that's something he talked about in the book. I don't know if you feel the same about desire or what's your opinion on it?
No, you know what? I do agree. And I like the fact that in the book, he specifies like when you are wanting can lead to misery or suffering, right? So you can, this, it's like you setting yourself up. And that's the thing, like, about it's funny because the power of now, it's easy to confuse like what he was saying in the power of now versus what he was saying in this book. They're kind of very similar books, but this one touches on the fact that, you know, different expectations that we have can lead to suffering. So by you saying desire is within you but you're not acting upon it, I'm working on that as well, because there's a lot of different emotions that I have that doesn't need to be acted on, and can lead me to things I don't want to deal with if I act on them. So it's about like I'm trying to, like the book said, just focusing on the now and really living in the moment. Okay, so by me living in the moment, I'm able to say, okay, even if I want something, I'm never going to allow myself to experience the pain of not having it, or not, or feeling like it's supposed to be mine, or it's supposed to be for me, and then getting upset when something different occurs. You see what I'm saying? It's like I have to make it important to where, okay, the things that I want in life, I have the right to go after them. I have a right to go chase them. I have a right to make them a part of my life. But when it involves me suffering by not having these things, okay, I have to turn to me because that's my fault. I'm choosing to want these things, and I could be perfectly fine with just being here and just existing and just loving my life in the moment. But by you creating that action to desire and future thinking about something that's not here right now, you can set yourself up. So I completely feel you in the, I have to train myself to, maybe I want something, but I don't have to act upon it. See what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. So you touched on a lot of different things. Man, what did you say?
I did. I did. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I
you
did,
said
y'all. I did, y'all.
but kind of like, yeah, I think you said something about existing outside. Well, you didn't say existing, but kind of like existing outside of like environment and emotion. And that is literally huge. And that's literally been my main focus like for the past couple of weeks. And I feel like that is like gonna change the way everybody like experiences life because we so easily get affected by emotions like it's split second irritation. Something super small can irritate us. And I'm literally working on I'm telling you, every emotion that comes to me, it's taking me time because I have to constantly be, oh, I'm experiencing annoyance. I'm experiencing aggravation. I'm experiencing anger. I kind of have, it's not as natural as it will be. But like, if we can learn to, once we get hit with an emotion and we like, oh, I'm experiencing this, but I don't need to act upon it. I'm just gonna let it exist, and I'm not gonna let it drive it. That we get in trouble when we allow our emotions to drive us to actions. Period. Everybody experiences emotions, but who gets in trouble? The people who act on the anger, the people who act on the hurt, the people who act on the sadness or frustration, whatever. That's when we get ourselves in trouble. That's when things take a left turn. So just imagine like in a world where we have these emotions and we still use our logical brains, and or we take the time and be like, you know what, I'm feeling this emotion, but I don't need to act upon it. So
Well, and you know what? So, and another thing he talked about in the book is that, like, there's this general collective consciousness. There's general definitions. There's a lot that we attach to that the world has attached to. Like, it's already predetermined, pre-existing ways to feel, ways to go about things. So, the literal meaning of acting on anger, that can be as easy as, okay, it's something we've learned. We have been taught and conditioned to act this way because when somebody, oh, think about it like this. If every time I got mad, or every time everybody in the world got mad and they just hugged the person that angered them, that would be in our consciousness. That would be what we knew to do. And although our body is maybe feel like, when you're irritated, you kind of feel it, right? You kind of get mad. Sometimes I get hot. But imagine if the world around me just hugged, like, you know what? I love you. Come here. And
bro,
as a form of, as a form of, or this is the way I handle being irritated with you. I'm just gonna show you love. We would be a
bro,
different people.
this is literally what I'm saying. Like, I've been focused on this just happened to me. Like, the fact that you said that, perfect, because today this car cut me off. And I drive a Mustang, so I'm about to be like, you thought you could speed past me? No, I'm about to just go. But tell me why I was like, I literally took a second to think. I'm like, wait a second. That's because everybody I've ever been around driving gets mad. Like, why do we get mad at that? There's no, honestly, it's because we were learned. It was taught to us. We saw people do it. Literally, because right after that, I'm like, wait, why am I even getting mad at? Who cares if they cut me off? Like, I don't care. Like, we make literally the smallest things a big deal.
Yeah. So yes, I mean, we really just get addicted to or conditioned. And a lot of times, what I realized and what this book helped me realize, that a lot of our ways, a lot of the things that we think about, what we do, a lot of the times it's literally taught to us. And we think that we have just this mighty control. Like, I'm thinking I have control over my thoughts, I have control over my actions, but if this was laid out like a blueprint for me to act this way, to behave this way, I'm going to follow suit. And that's what most of us do. So the fact that it's so many perceived notions and conditions about how to act when this happens, instead of just existing when this happens, because we're not taught to exist, we're taught to act on. And even if we're not, someone isn't physically saying, hey, do this when you're mad, if we see it so many times, and this is the normal response of people getting angry with us and people acting on it, this is how we're going to act. This is another way to take back your power. Is just realizing, okay, why do I have to act this way? Like, why when somebody irritate me, why am I going straight to cussing them out? Why am I going straight to saying something rude, disrespectful, or something to hurt their feelings, when in actuality, it's not even that serious? If I don't allow it to affect me, then it won't affect me. And a lot of people feel like they don't have that power, but I kind of feel like that's like a muscle. It's something that needs to be worked on, something you have to be consistent with, it's something you have to put effort into, and something you have to actually try to do.
You know what's crazy though? Because how we just like, this book is kind of saying we action is kind of like the death of us.
Mm-hmm.
But when we talk about relationships, everybody screams, don't listen to what they say, listen to how they act. So it's like the complete opposite. So it's kind of, that's, I feel like that's really ironic, because even myself, like, I feel like I'm used to my partner acting a certain way, and that's how I judge how much they're into me. And I guess we need to get out of that. But I feel like it is kind of hard. You do have to have someone that you trust. But in the grand scheme of things, like we should be able to express our love, our feelings, our emotions through simple words, and not even having to show it. Like if we're angry, we don't have to show it. Like simply expressing our words, and our partner or our friend or whatever type of relationship, they should be able to receive our words and be able to be like, okay, they're this, they're angry, they're hurt, they're, you know what I'm saying? Like without us having to get riled up, like just straight up verbal, and then it should be okay. I'm understanding you. You're communicating with me, you know. So I think that's super interesting.
Yeah, and it brings the point of when I think about it, it's like, okay, when people say childhood trauma, a lot of people think that's just a buzzword, that's a phrase, but if you were conditioned to do things or handle things when certain situations arise, that's a part of it. That is literally what you know, what you've been conditioned to do. So, like you said, we look at our mates and we judge them like, damn, like why every time I do this, you got to storm out the room or you got to do this, but maybe that's what they seen all their life. And like I said, I'm not justifying any type of what I would call bad behavior, right? Because it's all about perceived definitions. But I have to realize that sometimes it may take a minute to get out, or you have to understand that you have more control over the situation than you think. We all have to kind of put that into practice. Like we have more control over the situation than we think. So things like childhood trauma, seeing your parents interact, or maybe all you knew was yelling. So you thought that was an expression of love. So you want to come in this relationship trying to yell at me. It ain't gonna happen. But I can understand why you may act the way you do if this is something that you've seen.
Yeah, exactly. It's a tough situation because it's like you have to find a balance between am I gonna be patient with you versus okay, I can't keep dealing with it, you know? It's a tough balance with that.
Yeah. And and it's funny. So that lead me to my next point. So in the book, he mentioned how, suffering, one of the ways we suffer is why is this happening to me? Right? We feel personal. We take things personal. We feel sometimes it's easy to be a victim in the situation, but that suffering, why is this happening to me? And what I take from that is, and I don't know if you feel the same way, but when we ask, why is this happening to me? I feel like it just puts more focus on the issue. And that's kind of where the suffering can occur. Like, okay, well, a big hole in my roof in the shop fell down. Why did this happen to me? By me consistently asking why is this happening to me, what am I doing? I'm putting more energy towards this problem. And for myself, that's what I'm working on, not getting too attached to what is happening, right? Which is basically like the entire concept of the book. But I want to talk about specific suffering because we will sit there and ask, why did I get cheated on? Why did I get lied to? Why did I lose my job? Why did all these things happen? And in those questions alone is you bringing more suffering to yourself because it's drawing you to be more focused on it. Because I can have I can have a hole in my roof fall down, and I can think, okay, well, what's the number to the roofer? What is the okay? I need to go to Home Depot. How much is this going to be? 2,000, 3,000, 4,000. How much is it going to be to replace it? I'm already focused on next steps instead of just sitting there looking for pity, asking why did this happen to me? So again, he talked about suffering a lot in this, but by us specifically holding on to those examples and asking, why did this happen to me? I feel like it focuses more on the problem. Like, do you agree with what I'm saying? Do you understand?
I think it just has to do with how he was saying, like, you can't really let anything phase you. It's just it is what it is. And that's kind of the tone he keeps for the whole book is this happens in your life and it is what it is. You know, like let it pass through you. So that's kind of how I feel with the quote you said about why is this happening to me. But another thing he says about suffering is that you need suffering in your life to basically, was it to appreciate the good, or you basically need suffering. You need suffering in your life
until
to an extent.
is that the until you feel like it's necessary, until you feel like it's unnecessary? You have to suffer until you
Oh
feel.
yes, yes. It says you need suffering um until
All right, I'll just read them. Oh, wait, what did this say?
oh, no death. There be no death to you as a human. Okay. So he says you need he's first he says is suffering necessary, yes or no? So let's start with that question. Is suffering necessary, yes or no?
Personally, I feel like yes, because like we said in our last episode or in one of our previous episodes, you kind of need to see like in order for me to appreciate the good and appreciate the stillness and the peace in my life, I needed to suffer first because then I won't understand why is this important moment? Like why is this feeling right now necessary? So I do believe you have to suffer. I believe that struggling and suffering produces things that, you know, even in our pain can come out in a better end on the other side. If that makes sense. I feel like it's necessary because you have to be appreciative, you have to be grateful, and you know, pressure make diamonds. But what do you say?
Yeah, I want to approach this topic in two ways. So first, I want to say suffering, as in what you said, like you come out stronger. So I feel like the first side of why suffering can be good is because you are going to come out stronger. I feel like, okay, I feel like this is very touchy because maybe someone watching this could be going through a tough time and they maybe feel like they have no hope. So I feel like this is a very touchy subject. However, when you do come out of that dark hole or that dark space, you do come out a lot better. I feel like you do kind of have to hit a very big low to eventually be like, okay, something's got to shake. Like I really got to come out of this. But you can be in a suffering state for a good amount of time, and it can feel like no hope. I don't think it's good in that way, but the state of coming out of that, I say that is good. And then two, I remember what he said. He said there would be no depth to you as a human if you did not suffer. And I kind of want to, this kind of hits home to me super heavy because I've dealt with depression for a long time. Ever since high school, I would go in and out of like heavy depression. And I used to, I don't want to say enjoy because I feel like I said, there could be people watching this that are experiencing depression right now. But I felt like when I was depressed, it kind of made me feel better because it made me a kinder person. Every time I was in a state of depression, I would never want someone to feel the way I did. So it made me a more kinder person. And like he said, there would be no depth to me. If I never experienced depression, I probably would be the biggest a-hole. I would be I wouldn't care about anyone's feelings. I probably would be super selfish. I probably like would not be a good person. But I feel like every time I got into depression, it made me a better person. And I feel like there's a reason why I'm trying to work on myself because I feel like I don't know that state. I feel like that state just kind of shifts your mind every time. So that's what I would say. Those are the two ways suffering can be good.
And that's funny. You know, I want to touch on that too because I'm also a person who have battled depression for so long, like for a large portion of my life for years and years. I really didn't understand who I was. And that type of confusion, like you said, it made you nicer. It made me meaner. I mean, I was an a-hole. I was an a-hole. I was mean because I'm just like, I was suffering. I wanted people to suffer. And that's
So
just
you
honestly
so you was doing like the why me? Why is this happening to me?
not necessarily, but I was more so like, this is happening to me, so this gonna happen to y'all. Like I didn't have like I was just at a place where I was just so low. Like, you know, it was times I felt like I didn't want to be here. It was times that I felt like, you know, well, I might as well just be a jerk because that's what life is. Like, life is a jerk to me. So I wasn't really saying why me, but I was just, it's kind of like I was accepting the fact that my life was so bad, but I was dishing it back out to people. But again, like you said, it's always a learning lesson in those times because I had to clean up my character. I had to clean up my personality. And maybe all this bad stuff was happening to me because of what I was dishing out to people. Now, of course, I felt like I was depressed before I started being an a-hole to people, but being in a situation, it doesn't give you a right or excuse to treat people wrong or treat people bad or treat people like we always told in school, like treat people how you want to be treated. A very simple concept, yet it's so hard to follow by many people. But I had to learn that. Like sometimes, like as I was getting out of depression and I was crawling my way up back to a light or back to the surface, I was like, I don't want to be that person is evil. That person is mean, right? And then, like he said, who is you? Who are you really? Are you a collection of different past memories? Are you the person you are right now? Like, who are you? And I made a choice that whoever I was, I didn't want to be that person. That person was in the dark for a reason. And once I got out of that, I vowed to like, okay, I just need to be a general. I'm not perfect, but generally better towards people. And I adopted that. Like my intentions need to be on point. I don't have ill intentions with people. And a lot of people who know me can vouch for that. I'm not doing things in spite. Like if I know I think about something, and I'll be like, I should do this. And if the intention is spite behind it or not a good reason, I don't even do it. Like I've programmed myself to do that. Not telling you information that you want to hear that may hurt your feelings because my intentions are good. I'm talking about any ill. Like, I just want to say this because I just want to hurt your feelings. I don't do that no more because at that identity, I associate that with that person, that former me, which I could easily say was myself, but that's not me no more because I can identify with whatever I can identify with.
So, have you noticed changes in your overall life after adapting this?
Absolutely, absolutely. I feel like people can sense my genuineness. And that's the thing, and that's big for me and big with other people. Like I may not be perfect, I'm going to apologize for it, but I'm always genuine. Like I always truly care about people's well-being. And by you having that care and I'm putting that out to the universe consistently, I receive it back. So like I said before, it wasn't the world I had to analyze. It was my own thoughts and my own behaviors and my character that I had to challenge because I'm like, okay, if this is associated with bad, right? Suffering, if these thoughts are making me suffer, then I have to let them go. Another big point, just letting go. Let go. Let go. Just be free and be in that moment and be in that space to where I don't feel like I have to be an evil person or a bad person towards people.
That's interesting, but that's really good that you switched out of that mindset because now you connected with me. So
Yeah, right. And it took years. I mean, and that's the thing, people like this stuff take time. I don't want to act like the depression to getting out of depression to really adopting a life where I'm embracing love and caring and just changing my ways. That took time. That took years. That took years. And at times it maybe could have been shorter if it was more of a like focus of mine, but it was a part of my journey and you need the journey. And that's why I said what I said about suffering is that if I didn't go through these such tough times, I wouldn't be able to say, life isn't that bad. I've been worse places. Life is not that bad. Or when my friends come to me and not even judging them or saying anything bad about them when they feel like they're going through the depressed spells. I'm no person to tell. I can't tell anybody if they're not depressed or not, but I can let you know, like, hey, you may just need to focus on your life a little bit more. You may just need to exit this person out. You may just need to work out. You may just need to do things that take your mind off of this feeling. And then they're doing it and they're like, damn, like, I couldn't be depressed. I'm not that alone. No, you're not. We confusing the definitions a lot.
oh yeah, definitely. I just think that I don't know. This we live in a tough world where everyone's kind of just me, self-centered, and we forget that people have it a lot worse than we do. So it's always good to like bring it circle back and remember like you have it good.
Yeah, for sure. But thankful, gratefulness, and thankfulness is two key ways to, I would say, to end suffering. Because I cannot be mad and I don't believe you can be mad and thankful at the same time. Like you could probably be mad and thankful right after, then mad back again, but I don't. They can't exist. Like I can't be happy and fortunate that I'm able to live in this home and have a roof over my head and be upset about it at the same time. So if you're looking for steps to end your suffering, end your pain, just be thankful about something. Maybe you just got one good friend, one good person in your life, one person that just care about you. That's that's something to be thankful for. Hey, you know what? I may want 5 friends or 10 friends, but the desire for me having that like it's not here. So I don't want to do that.
Yeah, yeah, I definitely agree with everything you said. So just to wrap up, let's finish one last topic to wrap up, which is going to be fear. And so in the book, he says that fear is kind of a feeling that you get when you are afraid to lose something, and because of that loss, you're going to be less than. So, like, say for example, someone who has a really nice job, fearing that they'll lose the job, and now they're not the same person, like they're on a lower level. So do you want to touch on like your thoughts on fear and then feeling less than if you lose, or for people who are afraid to lose something and feel like, oh, I'm nothing without this title, or
Well, I like to look at fear as okay. So, but fear is one of the biggest control factors. Like it's a big way to control people. Like we scare. Hey, the boogeyman gonna come get you if you don't make up your bed. Like we use it for kids. We use it for different people. So I definitely think like by me knowing that it's the control, I'm trying to figure out, okay, well, what is it that I actually fear? And when you said people missing out on something, I always go back to this picture. It's this picture of this little girl, and she's talking to God. And she has like this small teddy bear. She's holding it, and she's like, no, God, I don't want to give the teddy bear up, but God, like, trust me. And she don't know behind him is a bigger teddy bear, an even better teddy bear. So I feel like we always think we missing out in the moment. We never miss out once everything done happened, all the steps that's done happened. And then you like, damn, that had to happen because this happened and that led to this happening, and now I'm successful. We can't fear anything because you just never know what's going to work out. You never know how it's going to be. You never know why you needed those obstacles or why you needed something taken away from you, because that taken away from you can lead you to advance. I'm not mad at any obstacles. And that was something I had to train my brain to do, because it's easy to get upset and mad. And when we lose something, it's easy to be, oh, damn, I'm mad at that. But if I'm sitting here like, it's something better coming, I'm not suffering. I'm not fearing. I'm not going to give that power up. They're not going to control me by that fear. Nothing's going to control me by that, because I'm always embracing myself. Something better is coming and I'm okay with it. So that's just my take on it. Like, by me knowing that that's a control factor, I use it like anybody trying to control me. Even if it's not a specific person or a human being doing it, I'm sitting up there thinking like, okay, somebody is trying to scare me out. Okay, you don't want me to go to this auction with these people who've been here for 10 to 15 years because this is my first one. I don't care. Like, I'm gonna learn today. Whatever I learn. Maybe they might be helpful. Maybe they may give tips. What is the better outcome? Is there a better outcome? I'm always hoping it's a better outcome. And even if it's not a better outcome and something happens, I'm thinking like, okay, this wasn't the better outcome, but something else better is coming. I feel like it's all a mental concept, and we just got to take back that power of not fearing, not being okay with losing things because better things are coming. We need to be okay with that.
yeah, I agree 100%. And I feel like that also ties into the very first thing you said, which is the being okay with not knowing. I think we talked about that. But being okay with not knowing, he talks about that in the book. So I feel like that all comes full circle and ties around. So yeah, like you're saying, I'm okay. There's no fear missing out here because I know better things are coming. I don't need to know when. I don't need to know how. I'm cool with chilling, but I know something's coming. Something's on the way. So I think that's a really good like explanation onto why you feel like I don't have to worry about fear. Like I'm cool and I'm chilling.
Right. Yeah, yeah, for sure. And then just to touch on that really quickly, um, all of this stuff I had to train to do. Like we're training. Me and Jordan, we're training by us reading these books, applying these books, figuring out what works for our life and what doesn't. It's a lot of different training. There's a lot of different consistency. It's a lot of application that goes in this. So by being okay with just being okay with not knowing, it take time. Like sometimes you may be. I don't want to. I want to stress that this is a lot of mental work. This is a mental workout. Just like you go to the gym and it take months and years to develop that physique. It's the same with your brain. Okay, so if you're not there right now, don't feel bad. Don't feel like you're never going to get there. Don't feel like this is just unattainable because it takes work, consistent work, and you have to put effort into it. And I just want to touch on that. Like it's okay to not know. It's actually beauty in not knowing because it just be a surprise.
Yeah, I feel like I'm just now scratching the surface of being cool with my emotions, cool with not knowing, enjoying the journey. First time ever, I would say. I feel like I'm at complete peace with. I think that's what I'm at complete peace with knowing like it's on the way, and I feel like that's kind of what you said. Like I know it's on the way. Like why am I worried? I'm chilling, but yeah. So let's get into rating the book. We got to rate the book.
Got to.
Like I said, apparently this was my pick. I don't remember, but I didn't really. I'm gonna be honest. I didn't really like the book. I liked his other book way better. This one, it was just too. It was like I don't know, man. I just the way it was written. It was just.
Written. What you say your
but
rating was?
man, since I like the author, I say 6.5.
Okay. Okay. I actually gave it a 6 too. Like I said before, like when reading this, and I want to be understand. It's no word that in here that's big. Like I know people don't like reading like books that have huge words. It's not, but it's written in a way where it's like you would think like it was during the time of the book I was reading. I'm like, it's not big words, but it's like the way it's written is just can be confusing. Like I feel like it was one of the things that how somebody trying to be super deep, and it's like you didn't even have to say all that. You could have just said this. But I understand, how Arthur's is. I think that he, like you said, I enjoyed Power of Now deeply. I really enjoyed that book, but I'm pretty sure he wrote that one first. Could be wrong, but if he did wrote that first, I feel like this is just him trying to keep Arthur stack going because it was
Yeah,
just
like a
like,
cash cow. Yeah.
yeah, because I'm reading this like it wasn't one big word in here. Why am I so confused? It's a short read, y'all. You won't read this long, but it was times where I'm just like, you could have just said this. You didn't even have to say this paragraph that basically said you could have said the same thing in one sentence. So
Yeah, it just didn't touch my soul. Like I feel like usually when I read spiritual books, my soul feels like it just fed from the what is it called? The all knowing information. What is it called? Like okay, the full consciousness, like the all knowing information, like you get fed information. Anyway, every time I read a spiritual book, I feel like I just got fed with all this like energy. This did absolutely nothing for my spirit. It was just me reading it. So
trying to get through. Again, you gonna find something. That's why we do the work for y'all. We read these books and trying to pull out the best possible, most helpful information for you guys. So I want you guys to like, comment, subscribe. Let us know if you read this. Was it like what was your rating on it? What was your views on it? Let us know in the comments. Was
yep,
we
and
harsh?
follow us on all social medias.
Yeah, we're gonna put them down below. Follow us right there.
All right, peace.